Sometimes the very moments that feel like setbacks are actually the start of something sacred, a pruning process meant to prepare you for greater purpose. Our next speaker knows this truth firsthand. Catalina Cortez is a passionate advocate for faith, purpose, and young adult empowerment. A senior at Midwestern State University, she's studying psychology with a minor in sociology, entering her fourth year as a student athlete on the women's basketball team, and serving as a board member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. With plans to pursue law school and a future rooted in truth and transformation, Catalina boldly encourages others to strengthen their relationship with God and recognize how self-beliefs can either limit or launch their purpose. Today, she's here to share a heartfelt word of encouragement, reminding us that adversity is not the end. It's a divine opportunity to learn, grow, and help others through your journey, because in God's hands, the pruning leads to fruitfulness. Please welcome the courageous and purpose-driven Catalina Cortez.
Well, hello guys. My name is Catalina Cortez, and I just want to start by saying that I am so thankful for the opportunity to be able to speak at this virtual conference. And I want to thank all of you guys who are watching for just listening to what I have to say and listening to something that the Lord has really put on my heart to share. And so before I begin, I just want to say a little bit about myself. I am from Lubbock, Texas, and I'm entering into my senior year of college at Midwestern State University, and I am a psychology major with future aspirations to go to law school and pursue a career in law. And one of the most impactful parts of my journey is actually that I've been a college athlete for all 4 years of my college experience. I am on the women's basketball team, and it has been something that has helped shape and mold me into who I am today. And I'm just so excited for the opportunity to be able to speak to you guys. So I want to start by asking you guys a question. Have any of you guys ever experienced a season in your life where you were working so hard to achieve a specific goal and you were doing all of the right things? You were being disciplined, you were being consistent, but it seems like no matter how hard you worked or how disciplined you were, that you just constantly faced challenges and maybe even some disappointment and discouragement. Well, what if I told you that all of those moments were necessary in order for you to grow? That just because you aren't seeing direct results doesn't mean that you are doing anything wrong. I want to introduce you guys to something that I like to call the pruning process. And I'm bringing up this concept because I feel like the last couple years of my life have been a story of personal growth and development. And what I mean by that is I feel like the season in my life that I'm currently walking through has kind of just been this huge pruning process. And so the pruning process is commonly referred to in terms of gardening. And it's the selective removal of certain parts of a plant that may be dead or broken in order to prevent disease from spreading into the plant. And so what does this do for the plant? It improves its health and its structure and its overall appearance. And if you look up pruning process in Google, it'll tell you that it involves making cuts to encourage desirable growth patterns and remove unwanted or detrimental parts. And so essentially, in order for a plant to grow, it has to experience a pruning process. And I bring this up because for a lot of us, and I know certainly for myself as well, that this is our story right now. And it often carries a negative connotation because it doesn't always feel super great, right? It doesn't feel good to have to cut off old, unhealthy habits and replace them with new, healthier habits. And it doesn't always feel good to have to let go of toxic relationships or toxic cycles that may no longer serve you anymore in your life. And what I've come to realize, though, and what I've come to learn is that if you embrace the pruning process and you allow yourself to be pruned, that you are actually allowing yourself to be open to new things and be filled up with new things. And so by allowing yourself to be removed from certain environments and allowing yourself to detach from past hurts and past wounds and old lies, that you are actually making room for new opportunities and new perspectives, new relationships, and really just new beginnings in general. And so I'm a Christian, and so a lot of this season of my life of the pruning process has been viewed through a spiritual perspective. And so I'm going to read a little something from the Bible. Jesus tells us that in John 15, 1 through 2, he states, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful." So that it will be even more fruitful. So sometimes in life, the Lord allows us to experience trials and hardships, not because we deserve it and not because we're doing anything wrong, but because it is shaping us and molding us into who we should become in Christ. And so I'm 21 years old, and I'm already starting to learn that growth and development is an ongoing process. I'm beginning to understand that growth and development is something that you will never really truly achieve, right? You're not going to hit this exact moment where you hit the ceiling of growth. And whether that be socially, emotionally, spiritually, or physically, we are all always changing and evolving, especially as we experience life. We get older and we get wiser and we get stronger, and we begin to realize that our personal growth and development is not a matter of reaching a final destination, but it's a matter of putting one foot in front of the other and taking one step at a time. And so something that is so important about this journey is that the journey of growth and development is not only marked by our pruning processes, but it can also be propelled by our successes. And so as we achieve, we begin to realize our strengths and our weaknesses and our limitations, and we discover what we truly believe about ourselves. And all of this is essential to our growth, not only as human beings, but as women especially. So for me, my story of personal growth and development thus far actually had to begin with being stripped down of things that I valued so much at the time, but were actually holding me back. And it brought me to this place of complete humility and complete reliance on God. And so in a season of my life where I thought I should be reaping the goodness that I had sown, and I thought that I should be bearing the fruit of all the hard work that I put in, was actually becoming a season of losing some relationships and losing some friendships and feeling completely overlooked at the time in my sport. And I battled for a long time with my own mental health because all of these events kind of took place at the same time, and it contributed altogether to an even deeper rooted feeling of self-doubt and not being good enough, and that I would never be good enough, and that I didn't deserve the things that I was working hard for. And all of that could not be further from the truth. As a matter of fact, I grew so much from this season of my life. I learned that I was striving for approval and acceptance and validation from others that I could only receive and get from the Lord. And I began to notice the sinful patterns in my life, and it was hard. It was hard to have to exchange old unhealthy habits for the new healthier ones. And I had to learn how to take my thoughts captive and rewire them to thoughts of life and positivity. But I came out of this pruning process knowing that my worth is not based on my performance, and that my past mistakes and my past failures don't define who I am. And while all of these things can work together to help develop me and grow me into who I'm meant to be, they do not define who I am. And probably one of the most important developmental patterns that I learned throughout this pruning process and throughout this season of my life was that I no longer let my circumstances or my disappointment change the way I view my God, but I let the way I view my God change the way I view my circumstances and my disappointments. And it's always amazing when I can succeed and I can develop as a leader from encouraging experiences, and I can grow as a person from positive experiences of achievement. But even through the hard times, even through the hard moments, my mindset has shifted to, wow, my God must be up to something again. My God must be shaping me and molding me and strengthening me and growing me so that I am ready to walk into these new opportunities, and so that I am ready to walk into these new relationships and these new beginnings. And what I want to say to all of you guys who are watching this video is that personal growth and development looks different for everyone. Okay, just the way I have my story, all of you guys have a story, and everyone's story is different. Everyone, and within their stories, everyone moves at their own pace in life. And so whether you're in a season where you're growing emotionally, socially, physically, or spiritually, I want to encourage you guys that we are all a work in progress, and that in itself is something to be so proud of. That whether your growth is happening quietly, or your growth is happening loudly, or your growth happens in small steps or in large steps, that what truly matters is that you keep showing up. That whether you choose to make a better choice than you did last time, or you choose to walk away in peace instead of reacting out of anger, or you choose to finally face that fear that has been holding you back and that you have been avoiding your whole entire life, that you understand that these moments of growth, big or small, are what shape us into who we are. And so I challenge everyone who is watching to embrace your journey, embrace the good, but also embrace the pruning processes, and know that it's not about this milestone of achieving completeness, but it's about a lifelong process of learning and becoming who we're meant to be. And so that's really all I have to share with you guys. But I just want, like, this is my story, and I hope that what I have learned and what I have shared can resonate with you guys on the other side of the screen. And I just want to encourage you to keep showing up, keep putting one foot in front of the other, and just commit to being a lifelong learner, right? It's an ongoing journey. It's a never-ending process of growth and development. And so, yes, I encourage you, don't give up and don't lose hope, but keep your mind focused on showing up and learning and getting better and growing. So thank you.
Hello and good vibes. Welcome back to the Good Morning Minute. Today I want to take a minute to reflect on the powerful word of Catalina Cortez, who shared with us at the Empower Her Steps virtual conference. Catalina spoke about the pruning season, those moments when it feels like God is cutting things away, stripping us of what we thought we needed. But you see, friends, pruning isn't punishment. It's preparation. Just like a gardener trims back branches so that new foliage can grow, God removes what no longer serves us, so he can grow something even more beautiful in its place. Her reminder struck me deeply. What feels like loss may actually be a doorway to purpose. Sometimes God's greatest gift is in what he takes away, not in what he gives us. So here's a reflection for you today, friend. Where in your life might God be pruning you? Not to harm you, but to prepare you. What might he be making room for? Let this encourage you, friends. Pruning is proof of purpose. Trust that he sees the bigger picture, even when all you see are the cut branches. This is your moment to lean in and believe that growth is on the other side. Until next time, friends, I'm Angelina Mojica, your life coach, sending you much love, much peace, many blessings.